Hey guys, Patrick Wind here, and welcome to this training model in which I'm going to present you 27 hacks to get 10 out of 10 Facebook relevance scores. This is of course a very important model because the relevance score really matters and determines whether you're going to be successful or not with your Facebook ad campaigns. So, which are the sources that we have used to gather this information? Well, besides our own experience and on our own know-how, we've also taken a deeper look at Client Boost, NextAd, RefLocal and Unbounce, and we've combined their know-how with our own know-how and brought it together in this very nice list of 27 actionable tools and tasks that you should realize from the very first moment on in order to get the highest possible relevance score on ad level. So let's get started. I won't mention everyone in detail, but I will show you the most important ones in my point of view, and you will also have this PDF as a download in the section below this video. So let's get started. First, you really have to understand who your target audience is. From saved audience, lookalike audience, and custom audience, you'll have the opportunity to reach both new audiences and people already familiar with your brand. So we know all of this. And if you create a buyer persona, you're gonna be you're gonna have the right base to really come up with an ad that is relevant to your people. Because the better you understand your target audience, the easier it's going to be for you to derive the right creative, the right copy that's going to be relevant for the specific audience. So, second one, also related to the target audience, is that very large cold audiences, so bigger than the range that we have defined between 800,000 and 1.5 million, is basically a recipe for low relevance scores, because you cannot be relevant for everyone in Spain, for example. Okay, so the better you define your audience, the more relevant you're gonna be. And one expert tip that I have included for you here is that with value-based lookalike audiences, you're gonna be much more relevant because it lets you target people who are most similar to your current customers with a high lifetime value. So what else can we say about the targeting part of our relevance score? Advanced Facebook targeting lets you segment your ad audience into smaller segments and deliver them highly relevant ads and offer specifically tailored to them. So that's of course very interesting, goes along with better understanding your target audience. And then of course target people who have already engaged with your ads. So for example, someone who have already visited your Facebook page, engaged with a specific post or ad. That's of course pretty straightforward, that for them it's going to be more relevant than to large cold audiences. Okay. One very important tip that I want to share with you is that you exclude the purchase 180, or at least people who have bought from you in the last 2 or 4 weeks, and because here that's where it happens the most, that people who have already converted might come to a point where they get annoyed and they'll hit the hide ad button to get rid of it, because for new audiences they see your ad the first time, it's very unlikely that they click the hide ad button, but this is actually the group that presses this button the most. So people who have already purchased and you still annoy them every day with your ads, so they're the main reason why your relevance score goes down, because you hit them with a frequency of 30 or 40 and they see your ad all day long, and that's when they click hide ad, and that really hurts your relevance score. So that's a very important one here, number 5. Okay. Yeah, of course also your organic performance matters for the relevance score, and once again of course A/B testing matters. So yeah, so of course the most important is your upper your down the funnel performance. So if the ROAS is good, then only in the second step take a look at relevance score, CPC, CTR, etc. That's good. And now we come to the really important stuff. Now we come to the part that really makes the difference. So please do that honestly. Try to match your ad offers with the audience. So the key to higher Facebook ad relevance score is creating and delivering ads that resonate with their audience. Okay, so if you show sunglasses to women that are actually designed for men, they're not going to resonate with that ad. Okay, unless you're not telling them specifically this is a present you know, and then they're gonna purchase it as a gift, but that's a different story. Okay, so the more relevant your ad is going to be for the audience, the better the relevance score. Okay, so really try to match your specific offer with the specific segment. Okay, and do that by improving your Facebook ads unique value proposition. So if you want the person to click on your Facebook ad, you need to give them a good reason to do so. So try to communicate your unique value proposition with a clear and desirable headline, because your headline is one of the first ad elements to catch the viewer's attention. And here's also a very cool tip for you that says, writing headlines with odd numbers, so for example 1, 3, 5, 7, 13, 17, 21, 27, for example. Research shows that headlines with odd numbers have a 20% higher click-through rate than headlines with even numbers. So guess why this one is called 27 hacks to get 10 out of 10 Facebook relevance scores, and it's not called 28 or 30 or 24. Okay, so really use odd numbers when using numbers, because they're gonna get better click-through rates. Make your ad copy about the customer. Here I like to play around with the words you, get your pair of sunglasses, your special offer, your last chance, so on and so forth. So it's all about the customer, and try to make your ad copy highly actionable using action verbs in Facebook ad. For example, try, get, start, gain, read, save, etc. And what I like a lot is everything when it comes down to urgency. Okay, so everything that's somehow scarce, so scarcity and urgency. For example, today only, the offer ends in 24 hours, get 70% off today. Okay, so keep it simple and brief, and place your offer in the ad's headline of the image so someone can really see it in the first glimpse. And yeah, try to offer something extra for free, for example free shipping in your ads. When it comes to the call to action buttons, of course you can play around, and you should play around with the different standard options like learn more, shop now, sign up, so on and so forth. However, you can also try to include call to action buttons, try to include call to actions, clickable call to actions within your ad copy already. Okay, so following the AIDA principle, so attention, interest, desire, action, already create in your copy a clickable link. For example, a bit.ly with a link shortener, or the entire link if it's not too long, and say click now for the special offer, or shop now at okay, so that's very important. And the most important thing to really get good click-through rates, and therefore also high relevance scores, is your creative, right? So the image or the video. And different research shows that the creative parts of the image or the video is actually responsible for 75 to 90% of your ads performance. Now we can argue about that, but the point is clear. It's very important, and therefore you should really A/B test the way you lay out your ad, the way you have different images set up, the way you have different copies set up. And yeah, here's a specific test on how you can significantly test and determine whether a result from your A/B test is correct. We're going to discuss all of that in module 5 of our program, in the analysis deep dive, where we're going to talk about split tests. But for now, just let it be with the topic, with the point that the image is a very important part of your relevance score, and therefore you should really A/B test it. That's a good one. That's a very actionable one that many people don't know. If the image is one of the first things people notice about your Facebook ad, it may be to pay off to include your key message already in there. Okay, so we're talking here about text in front of the image, and here of course we have to have in mind that Facebook does not allow more than 20% of text in the image. If you do it, they're gonna slow down your reach, and you're gonna lose auction, and your CPM is gonna go up. Because you're not as competitive anymore. However, try to make use of the 10 to 15% that we can easily use in text over the image, and try to include your main call to action. For example, shop now, or news, or new collection, or minus 70% discount today, or special offer, Black Friday offer. So using the the main unique value proposition as a text in front of the image is a very smart idea. Okay, that's what it says here. Include the call to actions in your ad image. So another element that you could include in the ad image is a call to action button that indicates that your Facebook ad is clickable. When including a call to action in the image, use a contrast color to make it highly visible, of course. Yes, talking about the most relevant Facebook ad type, here, especially mobile newsfeed and Instagram newsfeed, we should definitely have in mind and consideration collection ads, because the collection ads are super relevant for our audience. They receive high click-through rates, and they bring the people directly to the product page they're really interested in. Okay. Besides that, of course, as mentioned several times, video ads are going to be the future. Facebook likes everything that's dynamic, everything that moves, everything that's not boring and static. So really try to create Facebook ads, video ads instead of just image ones. That's a cool one to try to create location-specific ads. So if you're selling a product or service that's more relevant to people being a specific location, you may want to try the local awareness campaign. That's something that I would not 100% recommend. I would prefer to run a conversion campaign. Okay, so run a conversion campaign. But what you could do is in the ad set setting, you basically target a specific location, and then on ad level, you include it in the copy. For example, people in Barcelona, watch out. And then you come up with your unique value proposition, and you target all the people in Barcelona. So that's a good idea to increase your relevance score, because you include in your copy Barcelona, and then you show it only to people in Barcelona. So that makes a lot of sense. And then choose the most relevant ad placement, which can of course depend heavily between Instagram stories, mobile newsfeed, desktop newsfeed, right column, and so on. That's something you really have to test on your own, because it depends on your unique and individual performance. And then you have to uncover the best advertising time. So there's a good chance that Facebook ads aren't relevant to people 24/7, but it could be more relevant for them when they leave at night, when they leave the office, when they come in the morning, or when they're on lunch break. So that's the entire theory about micro moments. Micro moments are basically moments when people are very receiving for offers. So for example, before they come into the office in the morning, so when they're commuting, in the lunch break and after the lunch break, and when they go home from work. Okay, that's very important for you to understand. And then to sum up, the last three ones is optimize for the right conversion. Of course, that's what we want. We want to decide whether purchase, add to cart, or view content, avoid Facebook ad fatigue. And in order to avoid Facebook ad fatigue, we have to frequently introduce new ad sets, new ads to the mix, and to really have the Facebook machine and the algorithm optimizing with new material in a very constant way. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed those 27 very, very interesting insights into the Facebook relevance score and how you can actually hack it with them in order to get 10 out of 10 ratings on your next ad in your next highly performing campaign. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.